So next up, we have former gymnast Gabby Cooke. So hi, Gabby. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me today. My name is Jaye Mack, and I'm a student athlete here at Illinois State. To honor Black History Month, Redbird Athletics wants to center our past and present Black student athletes. You have left such an amazing mark here at Illinois State, and we're so thankful for the work that you're doing. So I have a few questions here that I'd like to ask you. The first one is, could you tell me a little bit about your journey to Illinois State?
Right. Wow, throwing it back. So yeah, I mean, when I visited campus, I just kind of felt like it was the place for me, but actually like this actually kind of pertains to Black history too. But when I was looking at ISU, there were no other women of color on the team. So coming in my freshman year, I was the only woman of color and Black women on ISU gymnastics. Obviously, that's very different now, which I'm so excited to see.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. And so, so that was something I actually considered when coming to ISU. And I kind of felt like a trailblazer, coming through and being like the only Black woman there. But I was really hoping that it would inspire other Black women to join ISU's team and make it more diverse. And obviously that has worked because we've gotten more and more every year that I was there. And this year it's just phenomenal. So that was kind of a big part of coming to ISU. And yeah, I guess that's probably
I can definitely relate to that. Like when I was looking at colleges, that was definitely like a big thing. And it was nice, like coming here, even seeing you and Jill and all the other people. It's just nice to see familiar faces.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question. So when did you begin playing or doing gymnastics?
I started at the age of 4. So at like 3, I was at like mommy and me classes. And then at 4, my coach like basically recruited me, I guess, from the little classes and was like, she should be on the team. And yeah, just stuck with it ever since.
Yeah, same here. I started when I was 4, the mommy and me classes. Yeah, they're great. What was your experience like representing Black people in the world of sports?
That's a good question. I feel like, especially with gymnastics, because Black women are typically the minority in the sport of gymnastics, I think it's almost like you feel like you're leaving an even bigger impact because you know that the little girls that are in clubs, they might be one of 2 Black people in their club, So I feel like when you like step on the floor and you're competing as a Black woman in the sport of gymnastics, it's even that more impactful. Because, there's so many little girls like looking at you and they might not have that representation within their own gym. So it's definitely, it's a big weight to bear, but it's also amazing because you're leading so many little girls.
Yeah, it's definitely like bittersweet for sure. So did you have anyone in particular that you looked up to while you competed?
While I was at ISU?
Yes, or throughout your whole career?
Oh, throughout my whole career. I feel like I actually really looked up to Alicia Sacramone because when I was like younger, that whole Olympic team was like the team. And that was like, when I was looking at, when you're younger, you're like, oh my gosh, like the Olympics, like it's really exciting. And that was someone on the team who had some more tan complexion, I guess. And so I kind of like felt like a little connection there. And I feel like she always just seemed like so chill when she was competing. And I remember she fell on beam on her mount. It was like a front tug mount. And she still like finished up her routine strong. And I was just like, wow, like to see someone like make a mistake in like such a big arena, but like still keep going and know like that doesn't define her, I feel like was so big for me to see that. And I feel like I really took that along throughout my career. So I guess Alicia Sacramone, that was like, I was younger, but I still had her like in the back of my mind as I was getting older too.
Definitely. So when you think about Black History Month, what does that mean to you specifically?
It's more than a month.
Yes.
Black history is all year. Obviously it's highlighted in February, but it just like, I don't know. I feel like we really need to stress emphasizing Black history all year because Black history is American history. And so it's good that we highlight it now, but obviously, like I said, all year. But it's just amazing though, to really see everyone kind of come together and just like embrace their Blackness, and Black joy. And it's just like amazing. I love that about Black History Month, and that you see all these different facts and stuff that come up on social media, like they created this or they did this, they did that. So it's just awesome to kind of see the trailblazers that have been throughout history that are Black.
Yes, definitely. I can totally agree with that. I think it should be like celebrated all throughout the year. I mean, I love that it's like highlighted, but like there's just times where I wish I knew more about Black history. And if it was spread out, like there'd be more opportunity, of course, to learn those cool facts and things like that. So what is one thing about your Black history that you feel shaped you into the person that you are today?
I would probably say, I guess like my family. I have a lot of, like almost everyone, I have a lot of family members that went to HBCUs, historically Black colleges or universities. And they have so much pride in that.
Yeah.
And there's so much history within HBCUs, and seeing that representation within my family and seeing people going to colleges and have them be HBCUs where there's people that are like them pursuing this education, I think was like I have a long history of that. And I think that was so big. And me obviously like doing collegiate gymnastics, even though I couldn't do it for an HBCU, but knowing how much that representation impacted people throughout my family, I think is probably like my biggest, like, I guess, thing when it comes to Black history, is having that lineage of people who did attend HBCUs and do now. And just really admiring, like,
yeah, definitely,
just how fire that is.
Yeah,
like, yes, like I love
so
that.
Cool. I know. So, I can't wait. Hopefully in like the next few years or whenever, hopefully it'll be gymnastics and HBCU. Like that would really
right. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be so cool. Okay, so I have one last question for you. How do you think we as current athletes at Illinois State University can continue to contribute to Black history in a meaningful way?
I think honestly, just sharing all stories of the Black athletes at ISU. I think a lot of times within the news or social media during Black History Month, we can kind of see a lot of the trauma that Black people faced in history. Yeah. And I think really just embracing all the different kinds of stories and all the different kinds of backgrounds, and showing that Black men and women athletes at ISU come from all over the state and have all different kinds of backgrounds. I think showing like a panoramic view of that is really important, and not just honing in on one story and thinking that's every Black athlete's story. So I think that's probably the biggest thing, making sure we're showing a panoramic view of the Black athletes at ISU.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Well, that was my last question. Thank you so much for taking your time out to chat with us today. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.